Why Europe? At the beginning of the 15th century, Europe looked nothing like it does today. Instead of a handful of large countries, it was divided into hundreds of kingdoms, duchies, principalities, republics, and free cities. Nearly every part of Europe was fragmented into competing states that were constantly at war, forming alliances, betraying one another, and fighting over trade routes, territory, and influence. Some states disappeared, while others emerged, and all of this took place within a relatively small area. Now, let's look at China during the same period. It was one of the richest and most advanced civilizations in the world. A vast territory, a single emperor, a centralized government, tens of millions of people, highly developed agriculture, advanced craftsmanship, and a powerful state administration. If you had lived 500 years ago and someone had asked you which of these two systems would eventually dominate the world, the answer would have seemed obvious, but history took a very different path. And the reason was far less obvious than it might seem. Competition. Every European ruler understood one simple fact: if a neighboring state became stronger, his own kingdom could disappear. To survive, rulers had to constantly search for an advantage: better weapons, better ships, better engineers, better scholars, better ideas. It was this relentless competition that gradually transformed Europe. And this is where the story begins, one that would change the world forever. Competition gave Europe another enormous advantage. It forced states to compete not only with armies, but also with knowledge. Unlike large centralized empires, European scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs could move from one country to another. If one ruler banned new ideas or persecuted scholars, they could simply leave and continue their work somewhere else. They took their knowledge, their discoveries, and their technologies with them. This made it almost impossible to stop scientific progress across all of Europe. While one state tried to preserve old traditions, another was already funding new research. That competition created the conditions for one of the greatest turning points in human history: the scientific revolution. In 1543, Nicholas Copernicus published a work that challenged the idea that Earth stood at the center of the universe. In the early 17th century, Galileo Galilei used the telescope for systematic astronomical observations and helped prove that nature could be studied through experiments, not only through philosophical arguments. In 1687, Isaac Newton formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation, laying the foundation for modern physics. From that moment, humanity could do more than simply observe nature. It could begin to understand the laws behind it. The following centuries became an explosion of scientific discovery. Faraday revealed the foundations of electromagnetism. Maxwell united electricity, magnetism, and light into one theory. Tesla developed alternating current systems that are still used today. Einstein transformed our understanding of space, time, and energy. Each discovery became the foundation for the next. This continuous chain of ideas eventually led to electricity, modern engines, aviation, radio, computers, the internet, space technology, and artificial intelligence. While Europe was turning knowledge into technology, China remained one of the largest and richest powers in the world. But the scientific revolution that changed the course of history was happening in Europe, and it became the foundation of the West's technological advantage, an advantage that still matters today. If competition truly led to the scientific revolution, and the scientific revolution became the foundation of technological progress, then we should clearly see the results today. And that's exactly what we find. Let's start with semiconductors. The Dutch company ASML produces around 94% of the world's lithography equipment and is the only company capable of manufacturing EUV lithography machines, the technology required to produce the world's most advanced computer chips. Despite investing tens of billions of dollars, China still has not developed its own equivalent. The same pattern appears in artificial intelligence. The American company NVIDIA controls roughly 80 to 90% of the global AI accelerator market. Its chips power ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and most of the world's leading AI models. Commercial aviation tells a similar story. Boeing and Airbus together manufacture around 95% of the world's large passenger aircraft. China has spent years developing COMAC, but its share of the global market remains relatively small. Space follows the same trend. Today, SpaceX carries out more than half of all orbital launches worldwide. No other private company comes close to that level of activity. Education shows the same concentration. According to the QS World University Rankings 2025, the world's top 5 universities are all located in the United States and the United Kingdom: MIT, Imperial College London, Oxford, Harvard, and Cambridge. These institutions continue to educate many of the scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs driving modern innovation. Scientific achievement tells the same story. More than 90% of Nobel Prizes in the natural sciences have been awarded to researchers from Europe and North America. Many of the discoveries that shaped modern physics, chemistry, and medicine were made there. Europe is also home to CERN, the world's largest particle physics laboratory, where the Higgs boson was confirmed in 2012, one of the most important scientific discoveries of the 21st century. Even Formula One is far more than a racing championship. 9 of its 10 teams are based in Europe, operating as advanced engineering centers that invest hundreds of millions of dollars every year into new materials, aerodynamics, simulation software, and hybrid power systems. Many of these technologies eventually find their way into civilian industries. Even global sports governance is centered in Europe. The headquarters of FIFA, UEFA, and the International Olympic Committee are all located in Switzerland. And these are only a few examples. Whether we look at semiconductors, artificial intelligence, aviation, space, fundamental science, higher education, or advanced engineering, the same pattern appears again and again. The world's most sophisticated technologies are still being developed in the West. And that is no coincidence. It is the result of centuries of competition, scientific progress, and continuous technological innovation. Of course, China's achievements cannot be ignored. Over the past 40 years, China has experienced one of the most remarkable economic transformations in history. It has become the world's largest manufacturing hub, built thousands of kilometers of high-speed rail, modern cities, and one of the most powerful industrial bases on Earth. But it is also important to understand that much of this growth was made possible by decades of Western investment, technology, and manufacturing expertise moving into China. Becoming the world's largest factory is an extraordinary achievement. Creating the technologies that the rest of the world depends on is a far greater challenge. That is why the world's most advanced lithography machines, leading AI chips, top universities, major research centers, and many of the most influential technology companies are still concentrated in the West. History shows that true leadership is not defined only by the size of an economy or the volume of manufacturing. It is defined by the ability to create new knowledge, turn that knowledge into breakthrough technologies, and stay one step ahead of everyone else. And that system, which first emerged in Europe centuries ago, remains the West's greatest advantage today.